Rasi legge benissimo l'azione, recupera la palla Lombari, messo giù, pallone pieno dice il direttore di gara, poi si rialza Lombari, ancora Lombari, può provare anche la conclusione, poi l'appoggia per Dinardo, Dinardo in area di rigore, Dinardo il tiro di... Sei! Antonio Dinardo!
All right, Eric, it's not every day that we check in on the fourth tier of Italian football here on Football Americas, but today is not every day because we're checking in on Campobasso FC, an American-owned club that has clinched promotion from Serie D, the fourth tier in Italian football, up to Serie C, the third tier on the Italian football pyramid. This just a couple years after suffering serious financial issues. And we're joined now by one of the co-owners of Campobasso FSA, Mark Consuelos. You, of course, know him from his television fame, live with Kelly and Mark. You can watch him every morning on ABC, part of the ESPN ABC family here. Mark, I know it's not that late, but I know those morning TV call times are quite early, so we appreciate the time here on Football America.
Oh, thank you, guys. I'm about to jump in bed right after this.
I bet. You're like me, except your excuse is you got work in the morning. For me, it's I have a kid, so as soon as he goes down, we go down as well. So let's get into this. How did you get involved in a fourth-tier team in Italian soccer as an American TV host? You got to help me make that connection.
Well, you know, I'm passionate about football for such a long time, and this ownership group in New York City, the North Six Group, approached me and said, "Listen, we have a little interest in Ascoli, which is Serie B. We'd like to become, we're trying to get majority ownership. This would be the first step to that." And so I was excited about it. They made the playoffs that year, and I was excited about it. During that time, my partner there, as you can see, Matt Rosetta, came up to me and said, "Listen, there's a team that was in Serie C last year. They had some irregularities where they didn't pay something, and so the federation is demoting them all the way down to the fifth tier." So he said, "We can buy them. We can have complete ownership." And I said, "Okay, well, it's August. When does the season start?" He goes, 10 days. I said, do we have a team?" And he said, "Nope." I said, "Do we have a GM?" He said, "Nope." "Do we have a coach?" He goes, "No." I go, "Do we have a stadium?" He goes, "Maybe." I go, "Perfect. Let's do it." I said, "Let's do it." And the reason why we did it is this city in Italy, but more well-known for people in Italy, it has a rich tradition of soccer, and they were at risk of losing their team that that they've had over 100 years of just giving this region, a lesser-known region called Molise in the city, this joy for the past century, and they were at risk of losing that. And we had a chance to, first of all, take 100% ownership, and we were able to assemble a team in 10 days, and we won 38 out of 40 games. That was last season. We got promotion to the fourth tier this past season, and we did it again this season. So we're going up to what they call the Lega Pro, which is considered the professional leagues in Italian soccer.
Awesome.
So two promotions in 2 years.
That's not bad. It's not bad.
Listen, I know a lot of teams have been out there a long time that don't have one promotion, let alone two in 2 years. And Mark, tell us about your visit to Italy, like the first time, because I'm thinking out loud, if I'm an Italian player, if I'm a fan, if I don't know who Mark Consuelos is and I hear American ownership, I got a lot of different feelings about American coming over to Italy. Tell me about your visit, and did I hear you got hurt in your visit? What happened here?
That was last year. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's good. It's a good question. I'm sure that the fans, let's call them the fans in the region, were very suspect of this American group that came in to take over and save, quotation marks, their team. And I think they truly, we started with maybe 70 people in the stands. Now we have thousands of people in the stands. So I think little by little, week by week, we showed them that we were serious about bringing back something that was rightly there, something to be in Serie C. So I got a stadium visit when I went, and they said, "Do you want to take some PKs?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, I want to take some PKs." I went, I just gotten off the plane. I had an overnight flight, came from Rome, did, on a plane all night, and I didn't warm up. And I'm in my 50s now, and one kick, and I hurt my quad. I felt it, to the point where it hurt to take steps. And so I ended up in the team physio later on that afternoon, and he was, he's got a great facility, and they hooked me up to all kinds of little machines and gadgets.
I gotta know if you played it off though in front of the guys. Did you play it off, or was it visible that you were in pain?
I tried to, but listen, here's the thing, man. I grew up, Italian is my second language. I'm sorry, English is my second language. I grew up in Italy. My mom's Italian. Spent the first 5 years of my life in Italy. I would go back every summer. So, the Italian part of my heritage is, I'm also Mexican. So I was destined to, fall in love with calcio or football. And, I think that, the majority part of our ownership is all Italian Americans. So I think we were a little easier to swallow for them. So again, a little bit by little, we gained the trust of the region, of the town, and now, we're selling out the stadium.
What kind of involvement is it? Because I see you're listed as a co-owner with your wife. Like, are you guys in on Zoom meetings, decision making? How involved are you really in this effort?
Kelly's in charge of the costumes. It's like can I call them
design? You need some kit design, right?
So she picked the kit. She's like, this is great. We also put her in charge of the wives, the players' wives, to kind of wives. No, but listen, this year we got a slow start, so we decided to get rid of our coach and GM 5 weeks in, and we restarted. And we essentially, look at that stadium, look at all those fans. We had 70 people our first year.
No, was that your call, Mark, to get rid of the coach? Or were you involved in that?
It was like a three-headed call. There was three of us, and we were going back and forth. So the big decision was to if we get rid of him, if we wait till Sunday and he wins, we can't make a change. So it was like Monday night. We have to do what we have to do right now. So we did that, and we had to slowly rebuild the team while we were in season, which was so exciting and so difficult. And our GM did an amazing job to rebuild the team and to get it at least to the transfer window. And then when the transfer window, we could make some bigger moves. But in the fourth division, in Serie D, there's this rule, I'm not sure you guys know, you have to play with 4 under-20s at all times. So if you take under 20 out, you have to replace them with an under 20. You have to have 4 guys on the field. So it makes the choice of your team and the selection of the players that you get, off in the transfer window. You have to, I think the teams that have the strongest under 20s do really, really well in Serie D. And so we were lucky enough to rebuild that side of our squad. Which
is going to make all of Italy as a whole stronger when it comes to youth development. So you're playing an important role in that. I'm curious. I mean, it'd be very easy to say the obvious next goal would be promotion again. That'd be very difficult. 3 straight promotions in 3 straight years. What is the next goal? And is Serie A realistic here? If it is, what needs to happen with you guys to get there besides the obvious of winning?
Well, listen, we're ambitious. We're a bunch of dreamers, and all my partners are even bigger dreamers than I am. So I think we've always had lofty expectations. I think right now is to make some really responsible decisions, have some objectives of where we want to finish. I always say we're going to finish first, but Serie C is tough. It's like head-to-head battles. Every team is great. So I think, the playoff are places, I think 3 through 8. So falling in that little pecking order, and the past few years, the lower bracketed playoff spots have made it, have been promoted. So I think, building a sustainable, responsible team and club where we could have a go at Serie B more than just 1 year, maybe, 2 or 3 years, but have a go. But if you ask me, I'd love to be there sooner rather than later. But again, just important to keep a competitive team, an exciting team, an attacking style, gritty team, good product for the fans of Campobasso. So that's kind of what our expectations are. And I've got a lot smarter people with numbers who do all that work. So, they're taking care of that.
Mark, I was talking to somebody that has players, we'll put it this way, in Serie C. Is that what we're doing now? Okay. And man, the salaries that they were quoting me, what guys are making in the 3rd tier of Italian football were like really, really good numbers. So I'm sure success in that division won't come easy. And probably, Mark, unfortunately for you, won't come cheap, but it looks like you're committed. So I like that. Let me get some background here, because you were talking about kind of your background. Mexican dad, Italian mom, born in Spain, lived in the U.S. So who do we pull for? Who are we rooting for? Who are your teams?
Okay, here it goes. So born in Spain, moved to Italy a month later and lived there until I was 5. So really spent the first 5 years of my life in Italy. So Italy is always the first team I go for. I remember it was 1982. I was 11 years old. That was the first real World Cup. I was living in the Midwest at that point, lived in the St. Louis area. As you guys know, the St. Louis area is a hotbed for soccer, especially in the late 70s and early 80s. So Italy's always first. Second is Mexico, and it's an easy one.
Let's go.
Easy one to have because they're so gritty. I always pull for them. I always want them to do so well. And then obviously, the U.S. is always one of my kind of like go-tos. I'm always tracking them. And Spain. I was just born in Spain. I'm not Spanish, but I will claim them if everybody else is out. I will claim Spain for sure.
If I can just add, there are a lot of Americans right now in Serie A, in Serie B. It seems to be a place that's been very welcoming for American players, and they take to it. What is it about calcio in Italy? What is it about Italian football that makes it an easy transition for these American players?
I don't know, man. When I was playing soccer, and I had Juventus posters on my wall when I was living in the St. Louis area, and then Milan posters, and I'd go to Italy in the summer. The dream to have, and then the thought of having an American player playing in Serie A was just, it blew my mind. I would never even think that was possible. And to see it now in such a, big, on the regular, and to see Americans all across Europe playing at the highest level, it's so exciting. And I think that shows when, in the last World Cup, you could see the quality, you could see the qualities there, especially in the midfield. And I think once we get it just a little deeper, once we get the next, 10 position 12, 13, 14, 15 off the bench, those guys come off the bench also playing, and I think it's very important to have the MLS players, obviously, absolutely. But I think we, just as long as we get deeper and we can become more competitive, I think I'm very bullish on American soccer.
Yeah, man, crazy to think it was a month ago we had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 American guys in a big game over there in Italy between AC Milan and Juventus. Special times in the world of American soccer. There he is, Mark Consuelos, one of the co-owners of Campobasso FSC, on their way up the ladder over in Italian football. Mark, man, thanks for the time. Great to have you with us on Football Americas.
I appreciate it. It was an honor to be on your show. Appreciate it.